All right, guys, welcome back again to the channel. Back to let you know some of the stories making the rounds right now as they concern the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So today is the match day officially. We expect some exciting game tonight, but also most importantly, a victory for the Super Eagles against Lesotho. Time is 5 p.m. in the evening, but aside from that, we'll also be seeing a couple of interesting fixtures. South Africa on one side playing against Zimbabwe, and then Benin Republic playing against Rwanda. All of these games the same time, 5 p.m. Is the time, so it's really going to be very interesting to see how these guys get the results, especially the four countries in this Group C. But I just wanted to give you guys some quick one here concerning the expected formation, my own predicted lineup, and also uh, some information coming from the Super Eagles media boss right now. So the Super Eagles media boss in the person of Promise Efoge has come out to give us some updates concerning how everything is going in the camp. He talks about uh, the boys, the injury. He said that there's no injury issue whatsoever. Everybody's looking fit. There's no excuses. The weather is nice, according to him. Virtually everything is intact, leading into this match. So there is no excuse from the guys to not perform and get the result tonight. But just to put it in his words, Efogie said when he was talking to News Central TV, he said, "No injury worries. The weather is good for football. This is the kind of weather that they are very much used to, and so no excuses as far as performance that is expected on Friday is concerned." So that's basically what he has said, and it's obviously some good news, because the last thing that we want to hear is the boys coming out to give excuses, much like we saw in the previous game. Even without them saying anything, of course, we knew that the stadium for last game, against South Africa was nothing to write home about. So that was part of the excuse that you might say. The ball wasn't really bouncing well on the pitch, things like that. Akon scored an own goal. He could, give a reason that the reason he scored an own goal was because the pitch was very bad, and you can understand that. So, but this pitch looks relatively better than the one that, that South Africa invited us to. So, obviously, it's going to be a much better game than the previous one. Well, let's move forward, guys, and talk about the expected lineup for tonight. Of course, this is solely my own opinion. These are the guys that I think will probably make the cut tonight for Coach Eric Shear's team. And then also I'll talk about the formation. So, guys, I'm going to start with the formation that Coach Eric Shear will deploy tonight. Predicted formation, I should say. For me, I feel like Derek Shaw is going to stick with the 4-2-3-1 formation that he used in the last game against South Africa. Although we weren't on our best on the day, but I don't think it was due to the formation. I think it was solely due to the stress having to play two quick games in such quick successions, and then also the pitch. But the formation looked really nice, especially in the second half. We really showed what we were capable of in that formation. So, in the goalkeeping department, I think it's 100%. Stanley Wambali is getting the nod to start that one, and then for the four defenders, I'm expecting Coach Eric Shaw to convert Benjamin Frederick to play the two, and then 5 and 6 we have Semi Ajayi and Chus Ekong, and then Bruno Nymechi comes in as the three. And then two midfielders in front of the defense. I'm expecting Wilfred in the D, almost a sure bet, and probably Frank Onyeka pairing in that midfield. And then the front three in front of the midfield. Alex Iwobi stays behind the striker, plays the number 10 role, and I'm looking at the likes of Moses Simon playing the 11, and then Ademola Lukman playing the 7, and then Victor Osimhen playing the 9. So that is my predicted formation for this game. Let me know what you think about it. Also, let me know your formation, your predicted lineup for this game, and of course, what you think the scoreline is going to be. For me, I think it's going to be a very straightforward victory for Super Eagles of Nigeria tonight against this Lesotho side. No disrespect to them, but I feel like we're going to beat them by at least 2 goal margin. It could be 2-0 or 3-1. Uh, that's my prediction for this one. And for all of the other players, I think at some point, we are going to see Tola Kodari introduced into the match, maybe Terry Murphy. We could also see the Ako Adams get his debut for the Super Eagles. It's very possible. Probably when we are winning comfortably, I think Ujarisha is going to give him his debut. But if we are struggling kind of in the second half, I think the best bet is that Kujarisha is going to want to bring in Tolu Arokodare because that's what he has done in more recent games. But let me move forward and talk about the very important aspects of this Group C qualification uh, talks right now, and it's obviously the Eritrea situation. Of course, I've been seeing a couple of comments, concerning the Eritrea case. So I just wanted to give this clarity coming from CAF, coming from FIFA and then CAF, publishing it. So according to CAF's rule book handed by FIFA, it says that to rank the fourth best runners-up in this African World Cup qualifying series, every group will ignore results versus its bottom place team or any team that withdrew from the competition. In other words, this means that when comparing runners up across groups, matches versus the bottom team don't count for anything or for anyone. Matches and the points that you get from there, they don't count. It means that for Nigeria, if Zimbabwe finishes bottom of our group, then Nigeria will only have to lose 2 points, because we drew twice with Zimbabwe. So this is where it gets interesting and maybe favorable for Nigeria because we will not be losing so much points since we just only had 2 points from Zimbabwe. For example, if they finish last and currently they are in the last position, but there are other countries who got 3 points from Zimbabwe. They will be losing that 3 points. Some got 6 points from 2 games. They will be losing those 6 points in the playoffs. And it's not just for our group; it will be applicable to all of the other groups. So you now see how this will favor Nigeria in the long run. You know, uh, when this is being put into effect. And when it's done, it will now reduce the playoff point average. That is the points that each country would need to get into the playoff position. That's the top four of the playoffs. That's what it is right now. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. So that is what CAF has now mandated it to be. This is not CAF's rule, but FIFA's rule. It was actually created in 2023. So it's going to still serve for this year's qualification series. But that's the update, guys. Thanks for watching this one. Don't forget to leave your prediction, in the comment section, your formation, your expected formation as well, and we'll talk about it after the match. Hopefully, we get to win this one and then get that, momentum, ginger to actually go into the last game against Benin Republic, which obviously is going to be a lot tougher than this Lesotho game.